Well, we welcome you all to Clausen Stadium, just about underway here in the home opener for the Oakland County Football Club as they face Ann Arbor FC Lumberjacks here today to start yet another year in the second right here at this stadium. Jeremy Otto alongside Mitch Gatsky to bring the call here today. And Mitch, anytime you have your home opener, obviously a little bit more oomph and fire as you begin things here today. Nice crowd developing, a little slight drizzle out there and a little chilly, but that weather will soon get too hot and we'll complain then too. So it's fine out there right now, right?
Absolutely. It's one of those days where you are glad that you're up here in the press box, bundled up, nice and warm. But good amount of fans out there. Obviously, a few nerves going around the stadium. Obviously, the excitement that goes with a home opener. So much possibility as we head into this season, and it's about time to get it started.
No doubt. Well, this is the first countable game, at least in the league season, for OCFC. Ann Arbor FC had a 0-0 draw with the Michigan Jags to begin their campaign as they look for their first victory of the season. It's Mario Morana, the captain, the longtime member of this OCFC squad, taking the coin flip alongside Nate Kraft as you get a look at some of the players here for OCFC. Tim Dolan, the fine keeper, somebody to look out for this year. Lachlan Hepburn, Julian Burge, Nick Metcalf. Just a few at the top here, and some of these Oakland County FC players are carrying over, but for the most part, they're all fresh faces, as a lot of these guys are new, obviously, as you see there. And that's something, I guess, a little bit of a fresh start this year. They're looking to gel here early on.
And you're going to see that and when you start a new season, you get guys together for the first time. You're going to see maybe some miscommunication offensively, but a thing to watch here is really the solidity at the back end, the cohesion across that back line, and with the keeper. You want to keep a clean sheet here to start the season off correctly. Maybe nick one and pull out a result here, but above all, keep a clean sheet.
No doubt. Huddled together for a short pregame picture here. Something to look out for on both sides here today, and Mario Morana is the lone, or one of the lone returners for OCFC this year. He played at Marygrove College just a few years ago, which is now defunct, I guess, at least for the undergraduate portion of it. The graduate program is still around. But Talal Hamoudi, Musambu Jada, Mike Ayanwale, and Gonzalo Caceres all playing with him. Those are opponents on the other side. So maybe a little fun chippiness will go on between those five players on either side. Just about ready to get her going here. Going to be overcast pretty much all day. There was some sunshine around the Metro Detroit area to begin things here today, but gotten a little dreary. But we have soccer to begin things here as they punch it back to the left side as Morana give it off for Justin Murray.
It's perfect soccer weather.
No doubt. And not too hot. And once you get going, it'll probably feel pretty good for the players on the field. These fans are going to have to huddle together and continue to bundle up as the night goes on. Flipped across, that's Musambu Jada who picks it up. Back to midfield as they crisscross the other direction. These two teams met up twice last season. Both teams picking up a victory, but kind of the clean rosters here today. And in a league like this where you have so much turnover, results from last year, even the year before, really don't matter all too much.
Yeah, not too much. Obviously, a little bit different in the summer season. You get to mix up the rosters, as you mentioned. Some guys who are normally on the same team are on opposing sides here today. So, a good chance to kind of prove your old mates wrong and maybe nick one and have the bragging rights as you go back to your summer or exit your summer season and go back to school in the fall.
Quite a bit of Division I talent on this side for OCFC this year. Some good GLIAC talent as well in the Division II level. Like you said, some of these guys used to playing together or opposing each other, and I'm certain that some of these guys have definitely seen each other in conference play, if not as teammates as well.
And you mentioned the talent level and all the different schools that are represented here today. It's been great to see in the past few years all the programs that are really making soccer more and more of a priority as kids choose to go that route, play that sport. And, a lot more money has been going towards those programs, and it's good to see the development.
And even leagues like this, across the state of Michigan and across the Midwest are starting to get bigger and bigger. This was the largest pre-sale audience that OCFC has ever seen in their history. So they look to continue to grow their presence here in the city of Clawson, who's been very welcoming in their second full season hosting this football club.
Yeah, great event over at Zioli's Modern Italian earlier today as they revealed the jerseys for the season. A good gathering of OCFC supporters there. Want to make sure you know there are $1 select drafts on match day over there at Zioli's. Go and check them out before and after the match.
Can't match that, huh?
Can't beat it.
One of the fine partners of this football club, which we'll talk about throughout the season. Throwing on the other end for Ann Arbor as they look to chug towards Tim Dolan, the fine keeper for OCFC this season. We'll be backed up by Zachary Miller, Royal Oak native, just down the street here. But Dolan at a Georgia Military College, that's a JUCO in the NJCAA, just completed his sophomore season, played in 19 games, just allowed 6 goals all throughout the years. They raced toward him here. Good punch out by Oguanye here in the corner as that pipes out. Well, an early corner kick coming up.
Yeah, first chance here for Ann Arbor as we finally get a little bit of play on one of the ends here. Been a lot of back and forth in the middle of the field.
Austin Hobbs drives this one forward with the left foot, punched high up in the air as Kabenga Ayanwale tried to glide down the heart of the box, but no luck. Or sorry, that's Musambu Jada who made a bid for that down the middle. The tall player wears number 13. Can play a solid back line for you as well. He uses his length to his advantage. Push on high balls just like that, able to just punch it off the top of his head and out of play. That one doinked to the right as OCFC looks for their first opportunity. Malarangi settles it down as he flips it off back towards midfield for Sala.
Yeah, let's see if we can sustain some possession here. County's been playing a lot on defense as we begin this game, about 5 minutes in.
Marana, always been a good distributor. Score you a big goal when you need him as well. Clutch player in college. A lot coming off the bench for the Mustangs of Marygrove for Marana, but starts most of the games. As long as he's healthy and good to go for the squad in purple and white. Kraft spun it off for Miri now. Good aggressive play at midfield here by these two teams. Ends up in our first foul. And the first set piece coming up for OCFC now.
That's good work there by Fred to hold that ball up and draw that foul. Kind of slow things down, let County set something up here. That ball just a little too far.
Gonna roll harmlessly there to the right of the goal. And then Red will look to charge it out. No luck though. Good pressure by Sala. Spun it back to the middle. A quick skipping shot comes in on goal. Right there to meet him as the keeper on the other side for Ann Arbor FC.
It's always nice when your first opportunity as a keeper is kind of just a slow roller to you like that. You can gather it, no worries. Get your feet underneath you in a game.
Diallo.
Looks like Ann Arbor is really trying to play out from the back. They're electing not to go with those long balls over the top, and County's done a great job of kind of hemming them deep in their own zone here for the last couple of minutes.
Now OCFC looking like they're settling in just a little bit in their first home game. Right through the legs as he spun it off to the far side here. Off the back. OCFC looking for a handball, not going to get it though.
Yeah, I think it was one of those wishful thinking. You're not going to get a call like that, especially early on here.
Orangi saw that one circle back to Nate Kraft.
How about Nate Kraft? Can we talk about him?
Sure.
He's out there doing it, and we didn't get a full bio, but it looks like he's significantly older than the rest of the guys out there.
And most of the guys you'll see, if you're unfamiliar with this level of soccer, are college, and you'll see some guys that have recently graduated or are still out there and playing, and some former pros who are still looking to stay fresh and in the game. But for the most part, I mean, you're dealing with guys anywhere in the range of 19 to probably 25, 26 years old at most.
It's a young man's game, and I would say that Nate Kraft does not fall into that category.
Spinning to the left here to haul that one in. Just underway in the opening minutes of this home opener for OCFC, program that's standing tall now for year number 4.
And so important for the second season here at Clawson. That stability, that consistency, building that relationship with the community, that's what it's all about. And it's great to see the team back here for the second year in a row.
It's a nice intimate environment in the stands as well. Feel like you're pretty close to the field. Press box is the same.
Absolutely. We've got a great view up here.
We do. And we thank you for tuning into our opening broadcast as well this season. We'll bring you every home game right here on Go Live Sportscast. Frank Mazzell and the gang doing a great job putting this thing together, as they always do. Good forward ball potentially there as County chases that towards their own attacking box. It's Sala who gave it a run, but
Sala's been providing some energy up there at top, chasing down those balls, looking to make stuff happen.
Stialo handled it for quite some time, gonna sputter it out of play and right back to OCFC now. Fred gonna throw this one in, maybe. Orangi. Good leaning ball into that far corner flag now. Chasing him all the way was Omar, who let it go, and this is just going to result in a goal kick down the field here. Approaching 10 minutes gone by here in the opening half.
Two teams so far just kind of feeling each other out. Not going too aggressively in either direction. Working out some of the nerves. That's going to be a handball.
It was Gonzalo Caceres who was looking to settle it down. Couldn't do so, so it popped up and hit his hand. Just a short set piece taken there as they hand it off to Metcalf.
That's a good ball there if he can reach it.
Yeah, that's Panley. Puts on the brakes there. Good shuddering play as they get out of the danger zone. Nowak has been all over the ball so far today for OCFC. Going to spread this one off. Oganye. Back down the middle, nothing there though. Good swarming defense by the men in red here. Tight space all the way.
Playing very compact at the back. Not letting anybody in behind.
Nice run to the goal there. Piped behind everything. As Fred's going to get a corner kick here for County from the far side of the field. They're first to the ball game thus far.
County's got some size out there. Look like a bunch of guys over 6 foot that are going to make a run at this one.
Sala back out in front, just kind of patted away as it's going to flip-flop out of play. Possession will stay with OCFC here. You like to see what this squad is starting to put together here on their own attacking half of the field.
Yeah, as I mentioned, first 5 minutes Lumberjacks kind of enjoying the run of play, and now since then it's really been County that's been in control.
Sala trying to, or take that back. Fred trying to take a run at that down the middle. Nice job by this keeper here for Ann Arbor FC. We did not get their names and numbers very early, so it was not able to identify who the keeper is. It is Tim Dolan on the other side for OCFC, who's seen very little action thus far.
That's the beauty of this level. You roll with the punches.
That's what you got to do. Nowak. Saw it slip out of play again. The rain is coming down at a little bit of a constant clip now. You see some umbrellas below us. Wasn't really a concern in terms of raining in the pregame, but right around when we got ready for intros is when it started to come down here in Clawson.
Slick playing surface causes for, you know, a couple chances that you might otherwise not get. We'll see how that impacts this game as it goes on. I'm not sure that it'll keep raining, but
another nice opportunity, sliding play there by the keeper on the other end, and he's going to hop on it in the end.
it's a good stop in traffic. That one kind of snuck up on him, and he was able to make a quick reaction, sprawling out to his right to make the save.
Kraft with a leading ball there for Mike Ianwale. Talented attacker when he gets in free space. Gonzalo Caceres has some speed as he labors to the far sideline here. Gonzalo pipes it back near post, looking to get a head on. That was Miri, and it's able to calmly rest onto the right foot of Marana as he punches it forward. Sala, right back to Mario. It's going to be a long run here for Morangi. No luck as that one's piped down the left side. Looking possibly for Marana on that chance, but nothing brewing. Mario really hasn't been able to get his way towards the goal for an opportunity quite yet. .15 minutes gone by, opening half of this opening night here at Clawson Stadium. The lights have been on the whole way. Overcast skies have turned to rain.
County really dominating the midfield at this point. Just looking for those last couple of balls in the final third to create a good scoring chance.
Yeah, right around there in the 10 or 15 yard line of the football field is where they've been halted more often than not.
But you know, they're doing a great job of, when they're losing the ball, they're working hard and getting it right back.
And we saw very early on some decent pressure by the Lumberjacks, but they have not been able to get much of anything on the left side of the field in front of Tim Dolan since, really. One opportunity where Tim had to come out and make a play on it.
Here's a chance.
That's a loose ball, and a cannon of a left leg by Fred kicks it well high of the goal post. Another play.
Hard to keep those down when you know you got a defender breathing down the back of your neck and the keeper's closing down from in front of you. You got to get a shot on goal, but it couldn't really settle down for him, and obviously sailed over the goal.
It's Nigel Beaton who had a beat on it right down the middle, looking for Mike Ianwale. Good job by the County defense to slide back quickly there to erase that opportunity. I believe that was Nick Metcalf who went back.
I think so, and that's a great play because there were two Lumberjacks in on the goalie. Had he not made that sliding stop, might have been a different story.
So here's Gonzalo Caceres to punch it home. Right there into the welcoming arms is Tim Dolan as he skies up just in front of the left post here. So calm start to this one so far. The right goal has definitely had a little bit more traffic. Nothing too shocking in terms of scoring chances thus far, though, for the men in purple and white here. Ryan Messick. Popcorn play there as it circled underneath there by Muri. Marana hounding on D, able to slip it back in OCFC's direction here. Fred. Back up and forward now, looking for Cam Panley. That one's going to float its way out. Back out in front, one header, looking for another leg here. Bicycle kick attempted in midair there, but nothing going for Fred as he looked to get that right foot on it. Another chance going forward. Slippery turf, gonna cause havoc there. Lumberjacks calmly able to pipe it back towards midfield though. Ianwale along with Jada looking to advance it out. Right to Fred again in great position. A laser shot taken up high by the keeper in black on the other end here for Ann Arbor.
Looks like a Lumberjacks defender down on the far end there. We'll get a stoppage in play so he can be attended to. Can't tell who that is on the ground over there.
It may have been cleated as they take a look at his left knee involved in that tussling play over there. I think that's Ryan Messick. Yes, it is. He's helped up. Going to try to labor off the field here with still 1954 gone by in the opening half.
One of those that probably hurts because it's a little bit colder out. Kind of maybe a little numb there, trying to get the feeling back in his lower half.
It's Nigel Beaton who comes in for him.
Now in for the Lumberjacks, number 21, Nigel Beaton.
OCFC vying for the possession. They will win that argument as this last off the foot of Muri here on the near side. (23 against 23) as Nate Kraft plays it on back. It's not a whole lot changing here, Mitch. What are you seeing in the opening 20 minutes of this half?
OCFC is really pressing the Lumberjacks when they have the ball. They do not have nearly as much time as County has been enjoying. A lot of turnovers in the midfield there, and it's going back and forth, but I would say thus far, you got to like what you see from County offensively and defensively. They've been solid at the back and somewhat threatening in attack.
Jada looking for the bomb here to Ianwale. Couldn't quite get it there. Just a tad bit shy as OCFC works it forward here. Leaning ball for Fred.
A little too much on that one. He had some space. Just couldn't find the finesse for that pass.
It was Diallo chasing him to that corner.
Sebring Building Company.
Look like Diallo and Jota doing a lot of the heavy lifting for Ann Arbor thus far, dealing with a lot of those runs in behind that County's trying to make.
Alibi off once again for Messick. Circles out and staying with Ann Arbor FC. If you weren't with us at the top of the show, Lumberjacks took on the Michigan Jags. It was a 0-0 draw to begin their season of play. OCFC won their first game of the Milk Cup. They'll play a game in Kalamazoo coming up shotly.
There's a little handball
Shot is
there
offside there.
Popped up on him.
Or handball, beg your pardon. Slick turf maybe causing some havoc there. It's a constant rain coming down now. It's been that way pretty much since the opening kick. Metcalf.
There's a good ball there.
Beautiful ball down the middle, but chasing it a little bit too far there was the keeper who came out to meet him halfway. That's Arangi, who had the run down the heart of the box. Fouls have been few and far between. One whistled there against Bennett Brook. Gives Metcalf a chance at a set piece here. Just barely to the left of his own territory. Panley, the Detroit Mercy product. Back along the right side here. And this is a situation where OCFC really hasn't been in terms of to the left half of their own attacking field, having to move it around the back line. They've done a good job of keeping it to the right as they look to target their right again. Spun around in that play. Pesky on both sides to win possession of this wet football here.
They've been all over the 50-50s so far, flying around the field, covering every Ann Arbor player that gets possession for a split second, and then he's got an OCFC defender in his face.
Fred back down the middle. That's Jota, who punches it with his right foot. Gonzalo Caceres on it very quickly. Running up the middle was Muri, but ball ran out of gas. Morangi. And that one taken away. Muri able to win this one. Curving one for Gabenga Ayanwale, but Tim Dolan says not this time as he'll roll it to his left. He had a big save late in that first Milk Cup game, Tim Dolan.
It's a big win there in the Milk Cup. Always good to get off on the right foot when you're starting a new campaign, and even more so when it's a competition, single elimination like that. Moving on to the second round right off the bat. Gives you that good feeling to kick the year off.
Kraft back again to Muhammad Muri. Brook looking possibly for the left foot of Ayanwale as he cut forward, but Dolan going to take that at the top of the 18 and punch it home here.
And see, County's doing a great job of keeping the ball up in the midfield so that those runs that Ann Arbor's making don't reach it to a dangerous enough position. It's just been some easy collections for Dolan there at the back.
Metcalf. So I'll go back to Dolan, outlined in gray here today for County. Pressed, trying to get by. Lunging save, the follow-up opportunity will find its way in. Mario Barrera, the villain, able to pound one through, and it's 1-0 OCFC in the early goings.
OCFC goal number 23.
Easy tap in for Marana.
Marana.
As you saw, come in there to clean up the rebound. Back off the Ann Arbor keeper. Just a situation there where I think the Lumberjacks got caught with only one center back available for defense, and two county players there to capitalize on the opportunity.
It was going to be fairly easy once Marana pounced on that ball. He was in perfect position, was able to slide it through for a 1-0 lead.
Great job by Marana to keep a calm head and just slot that one in past the keeper. Sometimes those can be tough because they are so easy. You freak yourself out and end up pushing it wide. Marana made no mistake there.
That's certainly where the experience helps you out.
Big B Coffee.
And I'd say, you mentioned the experience, a good blend of experience and youth, and obviously we touched on the talent that's on the field here today and on the roster for OCFC this season. A good blend. So you get that veteran leadership and also that spark from some of the younger guys who are really trying to make a name for themselves. As we mentioned, a lot of college players on these rosters in this league.
Fred saw that one pounded to play.
The energy up top for OCFC is giving Ann Arbor some fits right now. They're just having a hard time making those runs back to cover. There's another opportunity if he can get that ball in there.
Juggling along the backside of Jada there. Morangi looking to make his way free.
Nice job by the referee. It looked like he was trying to play a little advantage there, and play ran out. Advantage ran out. And he gave the foul.
So Fred, Marana, and Sala all going to surround the ball as Fred bails off here.
I always wonder how these conversations go. You know? How do they decide who gets to kick the ball?
Marana going to take it. He does have the rifle and just roofs it a little bit high.
What an effort. I mean, he let it go, and that looked beautiful. It was beautiful, just a bit high.
Oh, when Marana was at Marygrove, he had a similar set piece, even further than that, I believe around 35 yards out. He curved it in the right side and got himself on FS1. So he's seen his fair share of long goals just like that. That one just missing off the top of the iron.
And I tell you, have an attempt like that, there's a good chance he takes the next one in a similar position.
You would think so. Panley back the other direction now for Metcalf, and Dolan is there to spark that one up the field. 30 minutes gone by in this opening half. If you're just tuning in, Mario Marana gets the first strike of this home campaign for OCFC. Goal that fell right into his lap.
Fans, be sure to stop by the apparel tent to sign up for a special halftime contest with a chance to win an OCFC.
Jeremy Otto alongside Mitch Gansky to bring the call here today. Glad you could tune in on this Saturday night. Night that's turned into a rainy Saturday. Umbrella's out in full force below us here in the stands. We're in the press box at midfield.
A pass like that shows you just Ann Arbor, it looks like they're not totally on the same page. We mentioned these are the first few games of the season. These guys may be playing together for the first time. Oakland County looking to be much more cohesive at this point compared to Ann Arbor, which is still trying to figure itself out. It's a beautiful flick there. Another one.
Murray, hounded by a couple defenders now. It's just one is good chase into the corner there by Metcalf to make it tough. Because he was right in his grill, it'll be OCFC ball. We're on a chase by Nate Kraft. There is Allaby. Tough ball to keep in, but Nigel Beaton was able to chase it and put the Jets on to keep it in play. He checked in for the injured Ryan Messick about 10 minutes ago or so in game action. Messick went down in that far corner. I believe after maybe colliding with an OCFC player. They were attending to his right knee, kind of had to hobble off in the end. Kabenga Ayanwale the closest to that one, but Dolan going to take charge right away. You don't give up just 6 goals without being pretty aggressive in goal like he is. 6 goals in 19 games.
That is quite commendable.
Comes out to a goals against average of .97 and a save percentage of 85%.
And as I mentioned at the top, I think it really all starts with a clean sheet. You know, you can't lose if you give up no goals. And Dolan's going to play a huge role on this team this season, leading from the back in between the pipes.
A good keeper in a league like this can certainly make the difference. It can make a difference at any level, but Fred.
Good control.
Slips it back to the middle. Nice juke to his right. Looking to pipe it top shelf that time. Just rises over the crossbar and circles back to the fence calmly there if you're an Ann Arbor FC fan.
Fred has been dangerous there on that left side.
Lane can help you find the property of your dreams. Visit RyanLaneRealtor.com.
First time we saw him cut it back into the middle there. Normally he's chosen to fly down the wing. They're looking to get a little more central. But you got to like the way that County is attacking this Lumberjacks defense here so far tonight.
35th minute. So we wind down the time here in half number 1. OCFC wants to continue a good push. Shots on goal is pretty telling right now. It's 8-1 in favor of OCFC. That'll tell you everything you need to know about how this one's going. And I think the one was within the first couple minutes.
Yeah, hasn't been much since that first 5-minute period. Lumberjacks got a corner early on, had some possession in their attacking third, but County's had a great response, settled in, and now they are certainly controlling the game. It's a good step there.
Orana and a one-on-one battle there with Kraft, and Kraft is just going to shoot it out. This is another area where Mario's pretty good at these long throws if they want to take it in that direction.
And that can be a huge weapon because not a lot of guys can do it. It's harder to defend just because you don't see it that often.
Fred, leaning header in and just winds above the crossbar there. He's been lurking. He almost had the first goal of the game, got that deflection, which trickled just into the lap of Mario Morana, who finished it off for the one and only goal of this one so far.
And you just hope that he continues to pepper the goal. You know, the best players don't lose confidence just because they're missing. They keep at it. And 9 times out of 10, it pays off.
Caceres in the area, but he would have had a long way to run, and even if he made a good effort at it, right there was Dolan to hammer it home.
And that's just what I mean. I mentioned earlier the long passes played in behind by Ann Arbor. They're trying to link up that way, but it's just not panned out for them because those runs have to be so long. It's tough to connect on those passes.
Sala lost the handle. Caceres, good job to curl that right foot and keep possession of the ball there. Beaton lost it on the other end, though. Sala again right there as he takes a tumble right in front of the Lumberjacks bench.
County defenders getting after it, sliding around on that wet turf. Playing to the conditions out there, using it to their advantage. That's what you like to see. Don't let it be an excuse.
Well, they took advantage right away and figured out how they wanted to play here on the slick turf at Clausen Stadium. Had a lot of chances just like that. Oranji saw it circle out of play, and this one is going back for Ann Arbor FC.
Nice little 1-2, just couldn't find his intended target there.
Just over the outstretched right foot of Sala there, down the heart of the field. That one going to find its way out of play once again.
County's done a great job as well, mixing up the different attacks that they have. They've gone down the left with Fred out there, up the middle with Sala a couple times, and Marana obviously over here on the right capitalizing for the first goal.
Looking to pipe a calm pass down the middle, but Jada, his former teammate, able to intercept that. Kraft back to Caceres now. Over the outstretched foot of Ian Wale. He's a guy, when given free space, can be quite dangerous. Just hasn't had that opportunity so far here today. Jada in good position. Got tripped and he slid 35 yards out from the goal here, and the result in a rare set piece for the Lumberjacks. It's really been all in the hands of OCFC in terms of that category so far here today.
Let's see what they draw up here. Low driven ball. That was a great idea there, just couldn't find it.
Diallo was also crashing in case the rebound opportunity out in front of Tim Dolan.
Julian Burge done a great job so far today, checking the runs of those Lumberjacks forwards. Perfect example right there, just escorting the ball out of play, not letting the attacker connect with it.
Julian Burge, the graduate of Alma College, four-year starter for Alma, three-year captain, so that shows you right there how much of a leader and pivotal part of the back line he's been all throughout his career. Two-year captain, good. Three-year captain, very good. Four-year captain doesn't really happen. I mean, you don't see freshmen with the C.
Right. And it's so invaluable to have a guy like that on this team. As we mentioned, a lot of young guys coming into the squad, and to be able to rely on somebody like that at such a crucial position on the field, really invaluable.
Down to the final 4 minutes. Pending a little bit of extra stoppage time. There could be a little bit because of the injury, but other than that, it's been a pretty clean up and down game. I'd say no more than a minute at this point if everything stands tall.
It's been a clean game. Ball's been in play more times than not. Not too many stoppages, not too many fouls. A few throw-ins, but they've done a good job getting the ball right back into play.
There's the aforementioned Burge again, who's able to slide it out. First offsides of the day comes victim of the Lumberjacks. Had A couple handballs, and now our first flag coming up from the far side of the pitch here.
Interesting one there. County letting Dolan, the keeper, take that kick, and kind of a jumbled mess at the back line, but got away with it.
Too far for Marana as he puts on the brakes. Just over the outstretched leg that time. Let's see if OCFC can put on one last surge here. 2-0 lead would be pretty nice heading into the halftime break. They've earned it. They've controlled this game for the most part here today.
No doubt. Not too many chances on goal, but obviously capitalized the one time, and that's been enough so far.
Play this one forward to Osama Jada. He's got a pretty nice boot behind him if he wants to use it. There it is. Straight down the middle, Kabinga Ayanwale sees that curve over his right shoulder. Left off for Beaton on the other end. They're still racing into the box, and a sliding attempt is going to flip that one out of play. Great job across the back line there.
I think that was Hepburn tracking back to make that play. First time we've called his name tonight.
Just completed his freshman season in the GLIAC as a SVSU Cardinal. Saw action in 16 games in his freshman campaign. Not too bad. Back out in front, juggling ball once again. It was an easy finish in the end. Boy, he just had to sky it up because there were about 3 OCFC players along the near side, but once he got a foot into it, it was an easy connection. Mohamed Miri able to bury that one.
A lot of moving parts there, and anytime the keeper comes out on a corner and doesn't get the ball, either punching it away or just collecting it,
We
anytime
talked
that
about
happens, it's bad news.
We talked about what OCFC would like heading into the halftime break. That's everything they wouldn't like.
Yeah.
Never like to give up one of those gut soccers here to possibly end the half. We're approaching the end of regulation time in this first.
And that's the worst part of it, for Ann Arbor to sneak a goal in here just before the end of the first half when, as we've mentioned, County's really been the better team so far. It hurts, but it's not too much that they can't overcome. Just at this point, I'd say get into the locker room at halftime, let coach do his thing, come back out, get another goal.
Casera's second set piece of the day attempted by him. Jonda trying to dangle in there to get that one up, popped back to the right and escapes calmly behind the goal. But yet another corner kick upcoming now for Ann Arbor FC.
And if there's one time where County's looked a bit shaky, it's been on set pieces. We've seen a couple here on the near end, just fouls that have been called, and then a few corners as well. Ann Arbor's threatened more on those set pieces than they have in open play.
So we are into stoppage time, nearly a minute. I can't think that there's going to be much more to be played here. He had the one injury. I guess he was down maybe for a minute and a half, but nothing longer than that. He was able to be helped up and got off the field fairly quickly. Casera, soft serve back out in front, and Dolan able to slide to his right, and a critical save here at the end of half number one.
Real big stop, not too hard, it was right at him, but as we mentioned, don't like to give up those goals so close to the halftime whistle. That one really would have hurt.
No doubt. Dolan coming up for the second straight game with a sliding save to his right. He had a big one in the Milk Cup as well. Twirling play there by Orangi on the far sideline as it spun back towards midfield. Fred has been all over the ball today. He's lurking on that other end. And that is going to be the end of half number 1. So Ann Arbor FC able to claw their way back and just get the one opportunity of 2, you'd kind of say, in that first half. They capitalize, and they feel a lot better than they would have if things would have stayed the same like it was for most of that first half.
And things feel a whole lot different, too. We mentioned OCFC, the better team, but all of a sudden it doesn't really feel that way. You know, this game, anybody's game at this point.
So 10-4 was your final shot total. 4 corners as well attempted by OCFC, just 1 on the other side for Ann Arbor FC. So stats kind of uneven, but the score is even here at halftime. Be back for the second half here on GoLiveSportscast.com after this. Stick with us. Welcome back to Clausen Stadium, everyone. Jeremy Otto alongside Mitch Gansky to bring you the call here tonight. It's a 1-1 deadlock as we get ready for the second half of action here. What you see in that first half?
Well, I would say that Ann Arbor started stronger and they finished stronger, but in the middle, it was all County. So these first 5 minutes are going to be very telling of what we're going to see for the rest of the second half, and the last 5 minutes, I would say, are going to be pretty nerve-wracking. If the first half was any indication, Lumberjacks started off strong with a lot of the possession there in the first 5 minutes of the game. County took over, scored the goal, easy tap in on a rebound, and then continued to enjoy the run of play. But Lumberjacks able to get one back, tie up the game shortly before the halftime whistle on a corner with a lot of bodies flying around in the middle. Dolan came out, couldn't get a hand on it, and it fell. I'm not sure who the Lumberjacks player was that ended up hammering it home, but doesn't matter. It's 1-1, and that's where we stand. I would look for a lot more defensive pressure from County. We saw them being able to pressure the ball in their attacking half when Ann Arbor had the ball and was trying to play out from the back, not lobbing a lot deep, looking to possess the ball and break down the County defense, but didn't really have a lot of luck doing that. Maybe look for an adjustment on those tactics as well as we get ready for the second half.
Julian Burge, a big part defensively in that back line for OCFC, looking to continue that front. Another guy as well who was strong on the attacking end, just hasn't been rewarded quite yet. He had that shot that could have resulted in a goal. It did in the end for OCFC as Morano was able to bury it to the right side of the goal. He's a guy who's played very strongly today for the men in purple and white as well. One more huddle for the Lumberjacks as they break out of that. Samba Jada, a guy who's been pretty solid for them on their back line. Gonzalo Caceres, Mike Ianwale looking to break free a little bit more in the midfield and at the attacking end, and that might just lead to a second goal for Ann Arbor FC if they can get to it.
It's been a game so far, I'd say, dominated by the center backs on both ends. They've done a tremendous job dealing with the chances that have come their way, shutting things down, and we'll see what happens here. And that's what I'm talking about, just from the jump. I mean, County is on top of it. No time for the Lumberjacks to pick out the pass that they want.
Well, that's what you like to see, and shows that they mentally reset into the halftime as well with that goal. You never know in the waning moments of that first half, like it was scored for Ann Arbor. They looking to charge back out in front. It's Mohamed Miri who had a bid at it, but couldn't get it at the top of the 18. Tumbling play 35 yards out from the goal. Results another Lumberjack foul. There weren't a lot of fouls in that first half of play. Slightly tipped towards Ann Arbor FC, though, in terms of numbers.
Pretty clean overall, I would say. Nothing too malicious out there.
Shots in the end were 10-4 in favor of the home squad after that first half of play. They want to place that ball exactly where it play halted.
He's getting himself about 8 yards there that he probably shouldn't have gotten. But that's the beauty of soccer. There's a lot of gray area to play.
Looking to get whatever edge you can, right?
Somebody once said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but I get the sentiment.
This one lifted to the right of the goal and out of play here. Will result in another goal kick for Ann Arbor FC.
Support Oakland County Football Club, Diversified Members Credit Union, Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan, American Youth Soccer Organization, Sterling Heights, Clausen Public Schools, Acting Out Kids Theater, and Clausen Soccer. Thanks for coming out to OCFC football.
Certainly throughout that first half of play, this keeper for Ann Arbor had to face quite a bit of chances out in front. Did a good job of limiting the damage to one, and this team was able to catch up offensively right away in a perfect spot to get them at a tie score. They had a 0-0 draw at the end of their first regular season game versus the Michigan Jags, did this Lumberjack squad. So they're hoping to get a better result than that in terms of a W in the win column for the first time this season for them.
And we mentioned OCFC has played a game before that in the Milk Cup and a couple of friendlies just to get out there and get loose and try to get on the same page with your new teammates. But it is a bit odd to start your league season against a team that has already started its league season. At a small disadvantage there, maybe.
Sure, they're just happy to have a game under their belt for sure, like you were talking about. Especially with a kind of what is a jumbled squad in all the league in terms of the scope of college soccer, no matter what level you play at. Ultimately, you're going to want a lot more time to practice than you're ever going to get, just in terms of how things work, because a lot of these guys are coming from college, so they're everywhere. I mean, you got a Saginaw Valley player. You got a player in Tim Doan who's coming from Georgia, Western Michigan. I mean, these aren't close places per se. University of Cincinnati, another one. So you're not going to get them together until nearly the season starts. So it's fairly remarkable how these guys are able to gel as much as they are early on when they probably have only practiced, you know, if you're lucky, 4 or 5 times.
I've been very impressed with County, especially the way that they've been able to link up with each other, finding each other on the attacking half there in a lot of their passing. It's been very clean, I'd say. The timing just isn't great with the college seasons ending and classes wrapping up just in the past few weeks. I'm sure some guys last week were just finishing up finals. And then you come quickly to your summer squad and hit the ground running. It's a good ball there. Is he on? No.
Sala, once again, looking to put in the extra effort for that opportunity.
He's been dangerous. That speed has given the Lumberjacks something to think about on the back end. For the most part, center backs have done a good job.
There's Gonzalo Caceres, the ever dangerous number 8 here for Ann Arbor FC. He showed to be one of the better players in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference for his time at Marygrove. A bunch of his teammates on his squad, along with Mario Morana on the opposite end, who scored the lone goal so far for County today. 5 minutes elapsed here in half number 2. See what the scoring pattern is, if there is any here in the second half. Like we talked about at the top here, was the first half heavily dominated by the home squad, and then the late strike got the Lumberjacks right back into it.
I think both teams right now falling back into that feeling each other out process. Nobody wants to make a big mistake here and cost themselves what could be the game-winning goal at this point.
Dolan sends a leaner over to the other side. Guanier got a piece of that. We'll end up out of play once again.
And even that play, it's small, but Julian Burge, the ability to just nip that in the bud before it even becomes an issue. One of those plays that maybe doesn't get noticed, but it should. He's getting a little hairy here.
Yeah, no doubt, kind of an awkward kick. Didn't get as much as he wanted to behind it in goal. OCFC lurking, looking to piece something together here. Hepburn.
It's just a miscommunication there. He was going for the overlap and got the direct ball to him. He wasn't there anymore.
Chopped in the air by Diallo. Sputtering at the top of the 18 once again. Swerving it to the left. Fred settles it down. Curve to his right. It's right into the breadbasket, though. And he'll chuck it upfield.
Not a lot of time to get the shot away, but he was able to, unfortunately, right at the keeper there.
Hepburn once again swerves that one back down the middle.
He's played a quiet game, but he's been very solid here on the left side of defense.
Seems to have picked it up as the waning moments of that first half tick by, and certainly to start this second half, being pretty active, trying to make things happen to regain the lead for the second time today. Deadlocked at 1 apiece right now. Jota lays out to just get a subtle piece of that ball. That was the difference, though. Push from behind, and foul is going to be called. Alibi is going to get that foul as Sala looks to be the man to drive it forward here. Has not been a booking yet in this game. That was really the most aggressive play we've seen so far today, though.
I would say so, yeah.
Morano with a right chop at that one. It's going to scoot high off his foot and dribble to the back fence here. The rain is seized for the most part. Umbrellas are down. Turf is still pretty slick, though. We've seen a couple plays, especially at the beginning of this half, guys really trying to figure out their footing still. It's a nice playing surface. Fairly new turf here at Clausen Stadium. Nice home. Second year home for OCFC.
It looks beautiful, too.
And it does. Perfect size. Couple guys tripping right down the middle just outside of the 18. And OCFC pleading their case. It's Chukwudi who's going to pick up that foul and possibly more.
Yeah, I think he's going to escape a yellow card here, but it definitely was a foul. Oh, he is going to get a yellow. He knew what he was doing. It's a good foul. It's one he had to make. There were too many Lumberjacks running in on goal there, and picks up a yellow for his troubles, but one of those you got to take for the team. So now we'll see. In the first half, County had one from a similar area. Fred whistled one just over the bar. We'll see what Ann Arbor FC comes up with here. Probably within striking distance, I would say.
It's Gonzalo Caceres right into the wall. And a punch down the field. Talal Hamoudi also in the game now for the Lumberjacks. Makes his first appearance. Wears number 3.
With the benches on the far side there, it's kind of hard to see guys coming in and out of the game.
So 2 even shots total for these two teams so far. 1 shot on goal for OCFC in the second half. That makes 11 for County so far in this game.
Looks like we've got another sub getting ready to come in there for County over on the far side, trying to get a number so we can see who that is for you.
Looks like Robbie Court. Good meeting route to that football there as he grabs it at the top of the 18 here. And a nice kick down the field as well. The back of the head of Burge, good positioning there as he redirected it perfectly to Tim Dolan, who bowls it down. And Hepburn and company will try to advance it up to the left side here.
Good switch.
Caceres. Quick sifting pass there. Miri He's won balls in the corner quite a bit in this game, just hasn't been rewarded quite yet as he served it up for beating and a foul from the backside there. We'll send it OCFC's way.
Got a little unorganized there and lucky to be bailed out by a foul.
57th minute of this one. These two teams duke it out here in opening night in Clausen Stadium. Jeremy Otto alongside Mitch Gatsky to bring the call here today, so glad you could tune in. We'll have the call of most of these games for you here on Go Live Sportscast.
But really the only reason you should be tuning in is if you're out of town. If you're
Sure.
in town, you should be here.
We want to see you here.
If you're out of town, we got you covered. But if you're at home, come down and join us. So we did have that substitution. Looks like Fred came off for Robbie Court.
Now in for OCFC, number 16, Robbie Court.
That was a nifty little play. You don't see that very often. Able to keep it in there on the far side.
CFC hasn't had that same attacking push here in the second half as we saw all throughout that first half. Let's see if they can get something brewing here. It's going to flop its way to play, and it is going Ann Arbor's way. So any change in play in Ann Arbor here between the end of the first half and beginning of the second, you think?
I think they've calmed down a little bit, settled into the game. They've understood what their mission is and kind of figured out how OCFC is trying to break them down and been able to react to that and kind of clamp down defensively, keep things tight at the back.
Court. Saw that one serve into the corner, and it's remaining OCFC possession. That's going to be in a corner kick as well for Sala and company. So only the second corner of the game here for OCFC, trying to make the most of it as we approach the 60th minute of this contest.
Surprised they're not getting more people into the box. I guess there are some joining the attack now, but
Metcalf, the one along the left side, and that, I believe, hit a red body, is he'll calmly float that one out. Better job by Ann Arbor to not let those type of plays develop into anything for OCFC. They didn't really have a ton of great scoring chances in that first half, but they were at least buzzing a little bit more.
there was more space, and the Lumberjacks defensively have done a much better job limiting that space that OCFC has to work with. And that in turn has made getting those balls in behind that much tougher. Got another sub. Having a hard time seeing who that is on the far side there. Austin Hobbs coming in for Chooks. Is that what we're going with? We're just going to call him Chooks this season? That
I think so. That was the consensus. We were really trying to dig and say, hey, how do you pronounce his full name? It's Chooks.
It's just
hey, how do you
Chooks.
pronounce his full name? No, it's Chooks.
It's Chooks. It's Mike.
I guess that's what everybody calls him, though, because nobody knows how to pronounce his name, maybe even his teammates.
Now in for OCFC number 5.
That's how it happens sometimes, I guess. Another set piece upcoming for the Lumberjacks. There was a time where they weren't getting any of these as well in that first half. It was all OCFC.
And they've been most dangerous, I would say, on these set pieces, utilizing their size. There's a lot of big guys on the field for both sides, but Ann Arbor definitely the more aggressive team in the air.
Marana.
Let's see.
Ooh, just past Morangi there.
Ooh.
And just past Marana now as he made a sliding attempt at that one to no avail.
It's a great run by Marana to get into the play late The defenders had set up, and they weren't really aware that he was there creeping in. Unfortunately, unable to reel that one in. He would have been in on goal had he.
Court. Back to Nick Metcalf. He's been a solid anchor in the back line for OCFC today as well. They keep it as we approach the 63rd minute here. Rifling out of play. Flat ball, looking to get that off the back of his foot with Sala. No luck as this one pops to the near sideline. Run potential for Muri, but Dolan says,
Dolan's been great at gauging the time that he has. There's been a couple of balls like that with a forward charging in on him. He's trying to decide if he wants to let it roll and pick it up or boot it out of play, and he's been making the right decision so far here tonight. Both teams getting a little sloppy here in the second half. Ball's been bouncing around both ways. Not a lot of sustained possession like we saw in the first half. Wonder what happened there. Must have been just a little kick on the shins or something, because didn't see much, but ref called the foul, and now we've got a player down.
That's Alibi down. Second man down today for Ann Arbor FC. Ryan Messick had to come out of the ball game in the first half because of an injury he also sustained on that same side of the field, but in the corner.
Early on, too. First 15 minutes or so, I would say.
Maybe just a cleat issue as Alibi looks to tie it back up and remain in the game here as they play essentially a man down for a second. Good to go now. Pops back up. Just like normal.
It's funny how that works.
It is. Probably in no other sport could you see that. Here's Dolan. Here in the 65th minute of play of this ball game. Still 1-1 deadlock. Been that way since the end stages of this first half of play. Caceres takes a tumble.
Still just the 2 shots for each side here in the second half. One of them on goal for County. Both sides with 1 corner as well. And another spot kick in a dangerous area for Ann Arbor. See if they can get some whip on this and get ahead on it.
Caceres put it straight in the wall last time. He's just going to send it short this time. Back down the middle again. Just nothing there in terms of a shot. And OCFC will say thank you. Right onto the foot of Austin Hobbs.
Interesting draw up they had there. Had a bunch of bodies in the box and elected not to take advantage of it. Instead, just kind of led the defenders into the ball that ended up being played in.
And that was only a 2-man wall. I could see if it was a 4-man like last time when Caceres had taken at a similar distance, but
I think that might have played in his mind, having hammered it into the wall last time. Didn't want to let it happen again. Probably made the wrong decision in that case. Got a sub for Ann Arbor.
Looks like Messick coming back in. Check that. It's Omar, 22, coming in.
Now in for the Lumberjacks, number
Difference of
22,
2 and
Shadi
22
Omar.
that time around. Shadi Omar. Checks back in with The clock reading 67-10.
Now County with a chance to whip one in from a good area.
Not as much as I don't think he wanted to put on that one there. Good little tip back. As Fred leans towards the goal, but nice covering job by Ann Arbor FC on that one to make sure nothing else became of it. So if you're OCFC, what do you think they need to do to try to drop that offense that we saw in the first half of play?
I think sustained possession. When they were at their best in the first half, they were able to hang on to the ball, pick out the right passes, and break down the defense. And so far here in the second half, they just haven't had that same time on the ball. They've been more on the back foot, playing defensively. Mix up there, and I think County's going to come away with a throw. But if it were me directing the team out there, I'd say attack on the wings, use that speed that we saw in the first half, and here we go.
There is the speed.
But, I mean, that's where the opportunities are coming from. Blaze down either of the sidelines, look to get a ball in. It's worked a few times, and County's going to have a corner here to try to capitalize on.
It was Jada who punched out of the play once again. Sala will drive this one with his right foot.
That's way over.
Marana. High arching one that time.
Great job by Marana to get that ball back in play.
Across the wet turf. Taken out fairly easily in the end.
Looked like that was probably the second shot on goal of the half for County there.
Cam Panley.
Quick turnover, and here's a ball in. He's just off. I think that was Marana on the far side. Yes, it was. Another sub for County. Marana's going to come off.
He owns the lone goal of this contest for OCFC. Approaching the last 20 minutes of the contest here. Both of these two teams trying to make an extra push here to avoid a draw.
Cam Wild checking into the ball game for the first time.
For OCFC, number 19, Cameron Wild.
Oakland University product is Wild. Just completed his freshman season of play as a Golden Grizzly. Didn't see any time, but it's a guy this OCFC staff likes.
You love to see the local guys, you know. Oakland, Schoolcraft, as we mentioned, Marygrove, a lot of local schools represented.
Schoolcraft's been a heck of a program over the last 10 years, constantly making deep NJCAA tournament runs over in Livonia. The other school in Livonia, Madonna, has made some deep runs under head coach Mark Zathy as well of late.
A beautiful turn there.
Catch up on the backside, though, by Diallo. Being hounded in the end, get a result in a foul. And the OCFC faithful doesn't like the call, as Cameron Wild may have had a bit of a nice scoring chance there. Working his way from the near corner and looking to sniff out the goal.
Substitutions continue as Ann Arbor makes a swap. Miri is going to come off. And as soon as the oncoming player turns around, we'll let you know who he is. Number 10, Salgado.
Number 10, Ari Salgado.
There's Jada using that powerful right leg to get all he could behind it and look for Gonzalo Caceres. OCFC with a great touch, though. Racing to that right side, and a takedown inside the box, and they are just going to say corner kick. Everybody on the OCFC side wanting a PK. It was in range. That's not going to be the jury verdict, I should say.
One of those you'd like to see a replay. It's hard to see in real time, and that's why the referee's job is so difficult, but I'd say he made the right call on that one.
73rd minute here. Popped high off the head of Robbie Court. Couple more times, surrendering back down. Little header went off the back of a red jersey, and they pipe it out, but still pressure surrounding. Hepburn trying to keep the mojo going towards the goal here. Sala saw it circle and peek its way to play.
I couldn't see who that was. I think maybe it was Metcalf. Looked like he tried to hit that in with the back of his head.
It almost worked.
When you're in that close, just get it on the goal. See what happens.
No doubt.
That's kind of how Ann Arbor ran into their first goal of the game here on a corner. On a messy play, a lot of defenders couldn't get to the ball and just fell to a Lumberjacks player, and he was able to put it into the back of the net.
Hot dogs, $1 coffee, $3 brats, popcorn, nachos, and more at the Backyard Bistro, closing at the 80th minute.
So still 1-1. And what's becoming the waning moments of the contest here as we approach the 74th minute. Jeremy Otto alongside Mitch Gatsky here today. So glad you could tune in on your Saturday. Long throw in. Targeting Omar. Tight space near that corner flag over there. It results in a possession to the visitors. They want to get it in quickly. Gonzalo Caceres out and lunging behind that post was Dolan. Didn't end up touching it out of play, though, so a corner coming once again. So Gatto doing the honors this time around. There's the strike. Caceres trying to beat it down. Couple OCFC defenders right on his back, though. Good job by Cam Wild to wrestle it out and earn a goal kick here for OCFC. It's a heady play.
Caceres has been a handful, especially here in the second half, using his speed on the right-hand side.
And he's quick laterally as well. He can get that quick cut to his left or his right and create some space nearly instantly.
There's speed and there's agility, and Caceres looks to have both.
It's a guy that's still a couple of years removed as well from his college career. So to still have the quickness that he does speaks to what he's able to do with his body just from a fitness standpoint, when he doesn't, I guess, have to, and as much at least. Sangari leaning this one off for Jada. So shots are in favor of Ann Arbor FC all of a sudden, 19-14, and 12-5 on goal in favor of OCFC. So the better chances have certainly come in the hands of the home squad here today, but the fact that Ann Arbor has taken a hold of the overall scope just shows how much more they've made this game even, I guess you could say, as it's going on.
It's been a different game here in the second half, most definitely. Ann Arbor enjoying more of the ball than they did in the first half by far.
Little sideways flip there just to keep it moving. Morangi had that one. So in fact, it was not 19, it was 9. 15-9 were the shots. But still, that's a considerable difference to what we saw in that first half of play in terms of evenness, or the lack thereof. Approaching the 78th minute here at Clausen Stadium. Time winding down on these two teams looking for their first victory of the year in league play.
Going to be a handball call by the referee there in a great spot for a free kick for OCFC.
A prime opportunity to take a hold of this game. Lean to the far side, and he buries it! Barreling his way through his Robbie Courts! Just like that, County snatches the lead. It's 2-1 here in half number 2.
What a ball, bent into the back post. Defenders left helpless. The keeper, all he could do was watch as Court skied to tap that in.
It's a substitution. It has played some hard minutes, and now he gets rewarded.
Excellent execution on both ends of the play there for County. And just like that, crowd gets energized. A little over 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage. We'll see if County can hang on for their first regular season win of the campaign.
Got to be cognizant as well as what happened in that first half of play. Really, Ann Arbor FC able to work out of nowhere and score the first goal for them before the time expired, and stoppage time elapsed in that first half.
And now more than ever, keep attacking, yes, but make sure you stay solid at the back. You do not want to give up another goal and undo all the hard work that you've just done to earn the lead back. You know, the times you're most vulnerable in a game, coming in and out of halftime, I would say, and then right after you score, the tendency is to fall back on the back foot. Got to make sure you're doing it the right way, though. I think Lachlan Hepburn's going to check out here.
80th minute now. Hepburn has played some solid minutes for this OCFC squad, just doing all the little things right for the most part.
And that's going to be an area to watch because, as we mentioned, Caceres has been a handful here on the right-hand side, and now a new defender comes in to deal with that set of problems that Caceres presents. That is Brock Schultz in the game now.
It's a name we haven't mentioned quite yet in the broadcast here today.
Yeah, if our roster here is correct, that is Brock Schultz.
Hopefully it is. Hopefully all of them are.
We're only as good as the information we're given.
Now we don't have faces and movements down quite yet. That might come as the season goes on.
It'll come.
There's Dolan. Trying to curve that one in play. Nearly was able to do so. Instead, Jacob Poorman will have the honors of throwing that in.
You got to memorize the guy's shoes.
There you
That's
go.
The easiest way.
The neon ones are the easiest to identify for sure.
Everybody wears different ones, so those are normally the easy identifiers.
Morangi with a aggressive push down the right side of the 18 there, nearly got himself and his team a great scoring chance. Here's Court again. Court with the dash, tried to dip again at the top of the box here, and just ran into space as he had to spread it back to Sala in the end.
How about Cam Wild getting after it down there? Mixing it up, making the play happen.
Well, plays like that make a difference here when you're speaking of the 82nd minute, as we are in here, when your team is trying to hang on to a lead and maybe even pad it at this point.
That's a great example of the subs that you bring into a game can be so important when you're talking about the result at the end. That energy off the bench is much needed in a lot of games, especially a close one like this where two teams have kind of exchanged blows and been on top of one another in shifts.
The weather's evened out for the most part. It's certainly a little chilly out there, but the rain has ceased. It was a factor for all of the first half for the most part.
It is chilly. I am glad we are in here. That's a tough foul there.
Gonzalo Caceres going down to the turf in the end for the men in red. And this is going to be a dangerous set piece coming out just outside of the 18-yard box.
A lot of free kicks in these sort of areas. 5-10 yards outside the box.
It's Omar on top of it right now. Looks like he is going to bend it forward with his right foot. A little bit too much steam on that one as it swirls above the crossbar.
It's a good effort. He got it up and over the wall and looked like it beat the keeper, but couldn't get it back down to get it into the goal.
Closing 6 minutes of regulation time. We may have a little bit more stoppage time here as the second half progresses. There's Dolan. He's been solid in between the pipes here today for OCFC.
A surprise yellow card there coming out.
It's Cameron Wild who's going to pick it up. Not maybe something he said in the end.
I think maybe Diallo too for Ann Arbor might have gotten one. He's getting a talking to from the ref now.
So a double booking. It's our first two of the game. And some more chirping going on. Derek Novak now getting into the talking party here with the official.
All of a sudden things have picked up here as we get to the business end of the game. Temper's starting to run a little hot. OCFC out in front, but there's still work to be done. Ann Arbor, as we're seeing here, can attack.
There's the quick Caceres looking to use all the athlete in his body to weave down the right side of the field there. Diallo going to sputter it back instead here as they shift it around the back line. 86 minute of play. 2-1 OCFC trying to hang on to their home opener here tonight. And not a lot of urgency in the mind of the Lumberjacks right now.
It's just been a lack of inventiveness offensively for them, I'd say. They've done a good job of taking advantage of the opportunities that they do get. They've just not done a very good job of creating more of those opportunities for themselves. And it's a testament as well to the job that the two center backs for County have done.
Good settling play there to keep it alive. Certainly can afford to play some keep away, but two-goal pad is never a bad thing, and thinking that exactly is Cameron Wild, who's denied any other opportunity on the sliding play.
Cameron Wild's been a spark plug. He's a little guy, but he's flying around the field right now.
It's good to see. We've had a few of those off the bench here tonight for OCFC. Sometimes you need those guys to carry you along in a 90-minute contest, sometimes a little more. Gonzalo Caceres in a perfect positioning to saunter under that football there. Salgado gets tied up. 25 yards out of the goal. So we approach the 88th minute now.
But a play like that, a good example of the lack of opportunities that I'm talking about. Caceres brings the ball down, and he's looking for somebody to pass to, and there's nobody but county defenders surrounding him. He ends up losing the ball.
Nearly found its way to play as the pass was pretty hot out the foot of Caceres. Good bodying down play, though, to keep it in the field of play. Diallo right down the chute, and a denial as it rolls to the near side. Court got the best of that one.
Great play by Court, not only to take the ball, but keep it in play.
He has the game-deciding goal at the moment right now. Knocks the second goal of the game for OCFC here in half number 2. And a corner upcoming. No rush in taking this one.
Yeah, we just crossed over into the 90th minute. County's certainly going to take their time here. It's actually going to be a throw.
Boinked off a back there as it rims out. So maybe one last push here for the Lumberjacks. And white and purple trying to seal this one off. Starting on the right foot here in your home season. And outrage as tonight's official pointed one way. That was the wrong way. And he said, my bad, it's actually the other way. And everybody calmed down.
Classic mix-up.
It's amazing how the point right or left can outrage a fan base.
To his credit, he had a little chuckle at himself.
Nowak wastes some more time as he pinballs that one in.
We're beyond 90 now, so up to the ref's discretion how much longer we'll play.
Can't think it'll be much longer. We had, what, about a minute and a half in that first half of play?
Couple minutes, no more, I would say. Hasn't been any lengthy delays.
Long one in there by Porman. Good job by OCFC, though. Marangi got a piece of it. In a minute over regulation time now. Robbie Court, right place, right time. Trying to evade a couple men in red, and he did just that. How about number 16's play here in the second half? Sealing the deal, or at least trying to, for the home squad here today.
He's been very good. Caught offside there, but not his fault. Sometimes that just happens.
Porman looking for one last long lifting pass. Couldn't get it there. 16 is there to stop it down once again. Oranji chases it in the corner. He's trying to keep it in play right now, knowing that there can't be much time left.
Just thinking you hang on to that for a few more seconds, and that might have been it. I guess we get one more chance at an attack for Ann Arbor here, and we should hear that whistle.
Punched high and out. That'll add to the effort of time-killing mode right now for OCFC. Alibi with a direct throw, and Dolan's welcoming arms in the middle of the 18 to snatch that one. Been a big reason why the men in purple and white have been successful here today. His aggressive play, his smart play. Man in the Georgia Military College is going to be a great addition to the county roster this year.
Continue to play on here as
surprising,
we're
to be
nearing
honest.
The end of the 3rd minute beyond the 90.
Back along the end line, some contact there. They're not going to make that call at this stage in the game. And the final whistle blows. Oh, CFC picks up a victory on opening night. 2-1 your final.
Great job by the boys today, sticking to the game plan, taking advantage of the opportunities they got. It wasn't always pretty, but I would say they controlled the majority of the match, had the better chances, obviously capitalized on more of them, and that's a good recipe for a win.
So a couple victories to start the season for OCFC. This is the first league victory in the end as they pick up a 2-1 final score. Some final totals in terms of the numbers. Shots on goal, OCFC 13, Ann Arbor FC 6 as well. And on goal, or total 60-10 in favor of OCFC. So Ann Arbor able to even that out a little bit as the game went on. But in terms of overall shots, OCFC did a really good job of controlling the tempo of this game.
Yeah. For my money, I would say the bulk of the credit has to go to Julian Burge, Nick Metcalf, the job they did in central defense, really just shutting down any attack that Ann Arbor had, and that's how you win a game. As I mentioned at the top, a clean sheet would have been very nice, kind of a fluke goal that Ann Arbor was able to get, but when the ball was in play, in open play, there wasn't really a whole lot that they could do up against the OCFC defense tonight.
2-1 your final score in favor of the home squad. They send their fans home happy as players will sign autographs for some of the kids on the field as this one concludes. For my broadcast partner, Mitch Gatsky, I'm Jeremy Otto. We thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week at the same time right here